I am at my sister's right now, and I'm just adjusting to everything, the weather, the pace, the energy. I'm in a different location, and it's just funny because I just came from an event that we were just talking about things that are really simple and really high impact, and just loving it, and how we show up as people, and like all the beautiful things that was created in that day. And I had the moment while I was traveling. I was so tired and not even really the mood, but I still chose to just be warm and be open and just smile and send energy, like just that aspect. And the response I got was, yeah, just a completely different experience to what I would have if I just stayed in that my only two bubble of tiredness and just energy. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's kind of like it was just so interesting. Like I've just come up from this thing. I've come up from a different time zone and now in a space that is like 9 hours, yeah, technically 9 hours behind. So while everyone back home is sleeping, I'm awake here. All that thing went into this highly activated space, which I just love being in environments like that and just like connecting and just learning and how mm, that was just great. Okay. And then I had to, from there, I now moved to a different state again, much closer to home, which was now, it's now about 6 hours different. The like the journey through, because of the timing, I was traveling. They call it red eye over here. So when you traveled when people are sleeping. So I my flight was started off at like 9:30 ish, and then flew into another state, then to another, because there was no direct flight from where I was to my sisters and everything. And the energy was just wasn't there. Um yeah, just so like drained, and wasn't like trying to impress anyone or anything like that. Or I just couldn't have. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to impress anyone. I just could have just been kept to myself, you know, or just done my own thing. But I still wanted to just be pleasant and be present in that sense. And yeah, I just decided, you know what, in this tired state, I'm still gonna smile and just engage and just acknowledge. And as I was approaching the check-in gates, the ladies were just kind of like, they're doing their own thing. Like I was observing because it was a quiet airport, and as people were coming in, they would like slow down. They were playing music just to keep themselves alert, I guess, or whatever, as they're checking people in. And yeah, play the music softly, and they were serving somebody. And then as I was approaching, so while they finished the other person and I was now finally got to them, like, you can see from afar with the interaction. As I was approaching and smiling, all of a sudden the lady just like, oh, what's your favorite song? Or what's your go-to or something? Like you play. And I was like, oh, still extremely tired. But in that just highlighted conversation, it was just what's the word? It's like, "Wait, which song?" It's like, oh my God. And then I was like, Labyrinth. What's the song it called again? Let the Sun Shine. And they couldn't figure out on their Spotify and everything. So I was like, oh yeah, it's Let the Sun Shine. I was like, yeah, I'm sure that's the name of the song. Let the sunshine. And Labyrinth. And I couldn't figure, so I had to go into my Spotify and then like clicked it in. And then I showed it to them, and then she was able to copy it, and I played the music and I was just laughing, like, yay, yay, yay. Just and then them playing the song brought their aliveness in me, and just okay. Da, 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 da. And Like the song was, oh, this is a really good song. Okay, we're gonna like it. Like, yeah, great, cool. And then she checked him in, and then realized that my connecting flight, I had, I think I had like an hour and a half to connect to the next one, and it just shrunk to like, I think I had 30 minutes. I mean, it was on the same gate. It was like in between. So it's like, oh, okay. So you just need to be like, and then she looked at my seat and she was like, oh, and push you to the front. So I got to, so it's a small plane. I don't even know, like, I think it can carry up to like 100 people or something or thereabout, something like that. And so I was originally, I think, 20 something. And she's like, oh, I can move you up to the front. And then she like counted out that one. Blah, blah, blah. And I checked the thing. I was number one. She put me number one. Technically, I mean, it's a small plane. You could say it's first class, right? And the leg room, the seating, like you could have put half of me again on the seat beside. I'm like, nice. I was just like, okay. Um, like I'm exaggerating about half of me inside the seat again, but you know what I mean. Like it was just roomy and leggy and everything, and the space. I mean, it was quite fly, but I had the whole three rows to myself and a number one, so that I can easily just and connect. She's like, oh no, I can change that for you. And it's just like, you know. And then my connecting one again was like like up front, and then she just like changed the whole um thing, and it just the connection. So like one of my mentors used to say about this 50-yard rule, Dr. Joseph McClellan III. He's like, if whoever's 50 yards around you, just send them love. And then you can always, it's like, okay, what do I love about this person? You can always find a reason to love someone. And just, they don't need to know you're loving on them. You just need to feel it. And as I was going there, I was like, and I think that magnetism poured out to them to ask me when the person before me, or like while I was coming up, they just were playing their own chosen music and was just going. And then when I came close and it was my turn, it was just kind of, oh, what song do you like? And I think it was just because of the smile and the love that I was like pouring onto them with the whole experience. Even though I was ready to sleep. I was ready, I was knocked out. And I'm still calibrating right now because of, yeah, I've been up and I don't want to fall back to sleep. If not, I'll be back into my regular time, because right now I'm back home. People are getting ready to sleep, and here it's still afternoon. Just not even this time now. It's just okay. It's getting back, but so holding it off. But yeah, it's when we're the the openness. The treatment that I got was different. I'm like, regardless of whatever, it's like I just felt like me having that openness gave them like felt comfortable to ask me for my choice song, and then with the interaction, and then me like Boogie when the song came up, and like, oh yeah, well let me see what I can do and all that thing. So yeah, um, it's it's interesting when we realize that people don't actually respond to who you're being. That's what people respond to, not just what you're saying. So how you're acting, the energy you bring into spaces can also shape the space. It can also change how you show up and how like you do things. So if you come in, I remember when I used to like didn't want people to talk to me, or because I thought I was shy and all those things, I'll come with this big bitch resting face and like whatever. And yeah, of course people were like repelling from me and like away. And when I just really freed myself to and started smiling and connecting. People felt like the warmness and the calmness and the whole thing. So sometimes like we don't realize the the energy and the what we're bringing out into others. And this is the thing that we don't realize, that we think life is reacting to us, but most of the time it is responding to how we show up first, how like what we put out there and what we do. Yes, things might not be as we want. We might be tired. We might feel like things are not whatever. But if we decide to choose how we want to be, how we want to act, how we want to respond to certain situation, regardless of what's happening, like physically tired or something has happened that is not how we wanted, or we had something just pulled out the rocks out of our feet in whatever it is we're doing, how we choose to then respond to that, you know, life is not just happening to us, it's happening for us. And how we can just show up in the way that best serves us and help us to just go further faster than dwelling in that sunken state or whatever. Yeah, but keep showing up. I am Nene. We do this every single day. Remember that your voice matters and it's your time to use it. Bye for now.